Hi there, Mike MacArthur from the Oshkosh Public Library here for some more This Month in Library History. It's September, and now I'm looking back at 125 years of events that happened in September in celebrating the 125th anniversary of the library's home on Washington Avenue. So let's get into it. September 2nd, 1966, library will change cataloging system. So as they were building the 1960s edition, that L-shaped wraparound they built in 67, 68, they were also apparently considering ditching the Dewey Decimal System. What? Apparently it was very expensive to maintain. They made changes and you had to go back and relabel books and such. They were looking at expanding it to a different system, something like the Library of Congress, like you would see at an academic library. However, 60 years later, we're still rocking Dewey, so come up with something better. Dewey's number one still. September 3rd, 1900, opening of new public library. Well, here's an obvious one. September 3rd is when this building on Washington Avenue had its glorious dedication and opening. There were speeches, there was music, everyone was very excited. They focused a lot on the importance of an educated community, with Dr. H.B. Dale, who was the president of the Board of Education, talking about the value of a trained and educated mind of every man and woman. September 8th, 1989, library offers deals during September. Isn't the library always a deal? This is part of National Library Card Sign-Up Month, a drive to promote the ever-growing diverse collections of the library. Librarians have been saying it's not just books for decades at this point. My personal favorite about this particular drive is they were handing out little pins that said, "I got carded at the library." Does anyone out there have one of those? I'd love to see it. September 12, 1972, library increases photocopy charge. Oh my gosh, this is amazing. So I always said that the only thing that's truly inflation-proof is what we charge for copies. We charge 10 cents a copy. Know how long we've been doing that? Since Nixon was president. September 21st, 1983, library computer gets OK. So this was one of the first big initial step for the library going digital. This was the library system that was going to replace the card catalog and kind of the physical record-keeping materials, that keep track of who has what and when it's due back and all that stuff. Hey, we were going digital in the early 80s. September 27th, 1976, Archer blasts library study, incomplete, inaccurate. So our director in 1976 was Leonard Archer. He was responding to a study that was done that showed that Oshkosh basically spent 3 times as much per person to serve the community as Brown County and Appleton. He really threw shade at Green Bay, Brown County, and Appleton in this. He was quoted as saying, "Brown County Library would be the poorest supported library in the Fox Valley if Appleton did not already have that questionable honor," going further stating that Appleton was the sick library of the state. Yeesh. September 28th, 1995, library 100th party. So we have kind of 2 big celebration dates. This year, we're celebrating the 125th of the building, which was founded and built in 1900, but they actually tracked the actual founding of the library back to 1885, 5 years before we built the building. It was then that the Harris bequeathment from Abbey and Marshall Harris was officially accepted, and the library and the city established a free public library.